Hey everyone, I'm gonna go over the Spinning Blade Carino 3 Zealot of War build I've been playing this season. As you can see, we're hitting the 5 trillion damage cap on the dummy pretty easily. I'm gonna run into the map real quick. As you can see, these are the visuals. I'm gonna show you a little trick here that I like to use. You go into your settings and you just delete your visual effects, transparency, and brightness, and now all of a sudden your blades are invisible. And this will lead to a massive quality of life experience. Your eyes will not bleed watching the blades spin. So the gameplay is pretty simple in its current form. You just get your blade spinning, switch to either Annihilation or mobile mode, depending on if you want to go fast or deal damage, and you walk through the map. It's quite simple. This is an 8-4, fully juiced, spun up map. Core compass, 100%, all rolled up. It's great for this character is really great for clearing maps, doing the ballet really fast because of its movement speed. As you can see, I just walked through the map ridiculously fast, collecting tons of FE, doing the ballet as fast as I can, rapid firing, as well as I can kill all bosses in the game. Do we get feet? No feet. That's sad. There you go. So that's the gameplay of the Spinning Blades build that I've been working on. So let's go to town and dive into it. We're going to start off with the skills. All right, this is probably the most important part. We got our Spinning Blade. Now, this is still a work in progress, but this is where we've landed at the time of posting this video. Keep in mind, I will maybe make some changes in the future, and if I do, I will update them as we go. But currently we have the Ring of Blades, supported by Overload, Guard, Greater Multiple Projectiles, Spell, Concentration, Control Spell. Via our candles, it's also supported by Critical Strike Damage Increase and Grudge. All right. Over here, we have our Fixate. We have an Activation, Medium, Preparation. Ideally, you want to get as much cooldown recovery as you can. In a perfect world, this would be Perpetual Motion with an even higher 40% CDR. And if you can get that, this will have 100% uptime. Sadly, I don't have that yet, but that's what you're aiming for. You got Extended Duration Mania. You can play around with Well Fought Battle. This will increase its damage potential, but lower its uptime. So I like Extended Duration to keep it up as much as possible, but this will give you a bigger boost. And if you have a higher CDR or more natural CDR on your build and you can keep it up all the time, you can run this and get a nice boost. Here we have Mana Boil with Activation Medium. I chose Medium because I only really need this triggered if there's bosses or elites nearby. I don't need it spamming when it's just trash around, wasting it. So I chose Elite, but you could use Activation Medium Preparation if you want, whatever you need, or you could just click it yourself. It's not that important. You do support it with Mania and Self-Sacrifice. Here we have Elemental Destruction with Preparation. Again, you're looking for a CDR to keep this as close to 100% uptime as possible. You're going to support it with Terran of Malice and Abysmal Hatred. Now, keep in mind, we are going to aim to put a curse, this exact curse, on our ring, Curse on Hit. And when we do that, we're going to have an open spot here. Here you can put in a defensive skill like Frost Shield or Delayed Pain or whatever defensive skill you choose, or you could choose another damage booster. You can put a second curse. If you can find a way to do an additional curse, you can do 2 curses with Electrocute or something like that. But we are going to have an open spot here in the future, but for now we are using this because we don't have it on our ring yet. We have Blurry Steps with another Preparation. Again, you're looking for CDR or Extended Duration to try and keep this 100% uptime. This is the best I could do at the moment. It's not 100% uptime, but that is what you're aiming for. Also, you could, if you have a lot of money, you can also get a Perpetual Motion here, and that will keep it up all the time. Here you have Elemental Resistance. Ideally, you want a precise Elemental Resistance, but I have not got that yet myself. you're going to throw an aura amp, stand as one, and a selfishness. Here you have elemental amplification with a precise seal conversion. And the reason we have precise seal conversion is because we don't necessarily need it. We can support this without it, but we do want the precise seal conversion here so we can have a little bit of mana pool so our mana boil has some room to breathe. Otherwise, you're going to have such a small amount, and we can sustain mana boil as long as we're hitting things with mana on hit. However, we're not always hitting things, and this thing will run out. With this precise seal conversion here, this will give us a little buffer of mana, so we have some breathing room to keep our mana boil always active. We have Energy Fortress, Precise Energy Fortress, ideally, or Amplification, stand as one, and Selfishness. Finally, we go down to our precise projectiles. And you're looking for a Malleable, stand as one, Selfishness, and an aura amp. Over on our candles, ideally you're looking for projectile quantity, some critical strike damage. In a perfect world, this would be controlled spell, and I would have crit damage here because the controlled spell has a not as painful negative effect here. However, this is what we have. Over here, you're looking for grudge, also some CDR, as well as, if you can, some more projectile quantity. All right, now we got us our slates, our talents. Sorry, we'll go into our talents. We're going to start off with the Goddess of Knowledge. Now, keep in mind, I am jumping around here. You can fine tune. There's a few talents in here that can be maybe swapped around, but right now this is where I've landed, based for my current setup and needs. Now, like I said, if you don't need all this sealed mana, you know, you can get some more damage here. You can drop these nodes. I don't think I need it anymore since I got the precise seal conversion, but we'll see. And we'll play around with it. But we'll dive into this. We have some damage here, max mana. We don't really need the mana, but what we do need is the mana restored on hit here. Now, if you can get mana restored on hit on a slate or somewhere else, you don't need these nodes. You can get some attack speed instead, or, you know, just ignore it completely. Here we got our skill area and projectile speed, our max life energy shield, sealed mana. Like I said, you don't necessarily need this. You can drop this if you have enough sealed mana to sustain. If you need it, throw it in here as needed. We got our spell damage, our spell skill level, our focus blessing, and our max focus blessing. We're going to choose Chili for our additional damage boost here, as well as Insight for our additional damage boost. Finally, we're going to move over to Elementalist. Come down here, we get our energy shield boosted up. We're going to get more sealed mana. We're going to get elemental penetration. We're going to pick up more skilled area and projectile speed. More elemental resistance with a -5 additional elemental damage taken. We're going to get our focus blessing duration plus our chance to gain all the other blessings when we gain our focus blessing. We're going to go up here to get our max channel stacks. We're only going to put 1 point in here because we need the lightning and the frost and the cold damage to trigger our ailments. Now, if you have other ways to get cold damage, mainly it's cold damage. I have lightning damage everywhere else, but if you have other ways to get cold damage, you don't need this point and you can put it somewhere else. Over here, we have focus for more channeled stacks and more damage. And then here we have Peculiar Vibe. And now this is mainly for the damage boost as additional. Penetration is pretty good per focus blessing, but this will give us our chance to inflict our ailments. Without it, we have to go out of our way to find chances, and it's just an easy answer. Now, if you have all your chances covered already, you can go here for a little bit more damage. All right, now we're going to end up in the Ranger tree. We're going to get our life and our energy shield. We're going to get our crit damage over here. We're going to get our skill area and more skill area, projectile damage and speed, more sealed mana. We're going to get our defenses with our reduced additional damage taken while enemies are nearby, more energy shield and energy shield regain, as well as our knockback distance, and 150% increases and decreases of knockback distance applied to your damage. We're going to pick up shooting arrows for additional projectile damage and knockback distance, as well as impending, because we are usually close, and as well as our reverse knockback, we'll be pulling people in, and that's what we like to see. So there is our talents. We're going to move over to the slates. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting, so keep in mind, I'm going to show you various things. I started with this pedigree. Originally, it cost me 50 FE, and it was good enough to get going and started. And honestly, you could probably run with this all the way and you'd be happy. No problem, 50 FE. Next we had this is where I started. I found this. This is the first thing I found. It is a rapid shots. Not the best, but, you know, it was free. Finally, after I paid 50 FE for this, I paid 4,000 FE for a bunch and a 3 birds, 1 stone, as well as this was extra, not really needed. All right. Now, this cost about 4,000 FE, and this was great. This gave me a bigger damage boost than the 3 birds, obviously, because bunch is great. Finally, your best in slot pedigree, what you're looking for is a Gale and a 3 birds, 1 stone pedigree. This is rare. This is expensive. This took me 2 weeks to find. This cost me 40,000 FE to finally buy. It is absurdly uncommon and hard to get. If you can get it, great. Don't stress if you can't. You know, you can get by with a bunch, 3 birds. Honestly, just any 3 birds is good to go. But if you really want to pimp your ride out and you're looking for best in slot, you are looking for the Gale, 3 birds, 1 stone. Now I'm going to go through over these slates here. You don't need to copy these exactly, but keep in mind there are key mods I'm going to go over that you do need to get spread out. They can be spread out in any way you can find them, but this is the mods you are looking for. You're looking for a max focus blessing. You can only have 1 of them. Own 1 additional stack of focus blessing, and you have a chance to gain. Remember how I said it was important to have frostbite out? This is how we are gaining our focus blessings. If you do not have this, you'll have to find another way to generate your focus blessings. Not that hard, but kind of annoying. So I went this route. So I need to have that cold damage, always having the frostbitten on, always gaining focus blessings. When I'm gaining focus blessings, I'll gain all my other blessings. Very important to get this mod. Everything down here is extra. You can ignore it. Just get the best mods you can. Or if you're lucky, combo some of these other mods I'm going to show you. Over here, parabolic splits. You can only have 1 of them. Very important. Own 1 of each other blessing. Important. You can only have 1 of them. Here you're going to have 4% spell critical strike damage per focus blessing, as well as +1 to all skills. As you can see, we can only have 1 of these each, so you can get it wherever you can. Here we're converting 100% of our damage to lightning damage. The reason we're doing this is because we're scaling elemental damage via auras and curses, so this will give us a nice damage boost if we do this, as well as it will provide a little bit extra damage to our shocks. Not a big deal, but you know, it's an added bonus considering we're already going the elemental route. As well as 150% increases and decreases in knockback distance. It's applied, kind of a big deal, gives us a lot of damage. Again, you can only have 1 of them. Over here, we're going to get our settle shock damage 1 more time. Not a big deal. This was kind of extra, but it was nice to have, like I said, kind of like the same thing as the lightning. Main thing you're looking for here is for each spell skill used recently, +3 critical strike damage, stacking up to 20 times. Once again, you can only have 1 effect. Finally, over here, I needed the minus skill cost. Honestly, everything else here was kind of extra. I really needed the minus skill cost, so this is the only thing. I'm probably going to replace this, but as you can see, you may end up with an open spot, and you can fill in as you need it. If you need more sealed mana, you put in sealed mana. If you need more skill cost, you put in skill cost. Whatever you need, you can fill in here. As well as if you want to try and experiment with the other chances, you can. So there are our slates. We are going to go to our memories relics. I have chosen this one here. What this is going to do is give me the increase, as well as I will always start with the max heat up. As you can see, I have 110 always. I will always have that. It's very convenient. The other relic you can choose is something that looks like this, where it will automatically switch you. This one. So when you're moving, it'll automatically switch you. You don't have to worry about your hero trait, and it's a quality of life thing. Personally, I don't mind switching. I like having more control over it myself. And the extra bit of damage I get from using the other relic is why I chose that. We're going to pick up our Create Endless Wars. This will give us both our major talents at the end here at 90. We're going to get +1 projectile split as well as projectile quantity. You can also go for magazine size. You can go for, there's all these things. That's the one I went for. It was nice and cheap. Knockback distance is reversed, kind of important because it's the way we control. If we don't do this, we're going to keep pushing people away, not keep them near us. And we're going to actually lose some damage. We're going to have to chase monsters around the map. It's really annoying. I like playing with the reverse knockback. If you don't, you prefer the other way, you don't need it. You can put some more damage here, but I like it. As well as it gives us the knockback distance, which equals damage, as well as the parabolic split. We're going to pick up that one. I can't read it. Shackles of Mania. We got blank shots. Now, we have Ceasefire. Ceasefire is great for mapping. We like to move around freely. It makes us move faster. We can switch back and forth. We never lose our stacks. As long as we keep moving, we never have to reload. As long as we keep ruling. The quality of life for mapping is unmatched, so I recommend using this when you're mapping. If for whatever reason you run into a scenario where you're struggling for damage via facing an Uber boss, Traveler for the first time, and you need that little extra damage boost, this will give you higher and spiked damage. The problem with this is it's inconsistent. You'll go through low lows and high highs. It's kind of like a wave. You go down low, build up, have a huge spike, and after 10 seconds of a massive spike, you come crashing down and start all over again. Whereas ceasefire, where this one up here, you'll go up into the middle, you'll stay in the middle, and you'll chill there for the whole time, never crashing, never going down. So this is great for spiking bosses. This is great for mapping. So that's where we ended up on our talents, our hero members, and our slates. Finally, the meat of it all, the gear. All right. Now, keep in mind, there are a few ways. This is gonna be very expensive when you see this, especially with the current prices in the auction house. Don't get discouraged. You can do everything here with 2-star gear as you're finding the upgraded gear. As you can see, I'm pretty sure I kept most of my 2-star gear to show you. This is what I was using, and it's fine. You try and find the important mods. Corrupted, it's pretty easy to get some 2-star gear you need. So we're looking for a blind vision. Ideally, you're gonna want a double corrupted blind vision. I haven't got that far yet. You're looking for sealed mana on your helmet, plus 2 support skills and converts damage. We're looking for a Misfortune's Watch. Here we're looking for our corrupted critical strike damage. Obviously, if you can get this double corrupted and bring this down to 1 second, that's better, but main thing we want here is the corrupted critical strike damage. I haven't got down to the point of crafting here. I'll be honest, I don't exactly know what I want, but I do know I need energy shield here. Fill in some resistance, fill in some damage, fill in your weak spots here. This is an open spot. Play with it as you need. You feel you need more resistance, throw it in. You feel you need more damage, throw it in. But for sure, definitely have energy shield on here with a crit damage. Now, we're looking at a Light Hunter's Belt here. I chose this one because I like it for defenses reasons. But if you're looking for more damage, I'm pretty sure Pale's Mist Embrace will give you more damage at the cost of, less energy shield, less survivability. On your belt, you're looking for a minus additional damage taken mod. You're looking for an energy shield mod. You can look for defenses, some crit damage. Honestly, the last mod here, I'm still kind of playing around with it. This is a filler. I haven't got back to it. Wind Breath Convergence, very important ring. You should get it. The main thing you need here are these 4-channel stacks. You need 4 channel stacks. 2's not enough. 3's not enough. If you get 3, you're going to have to find channel stacks somewhere else. The idea is to get to 12. We get to 12 by having 4 here. I do have an upgraded version, as you can see. We do want max focus blessings on this ring. We do want curse on hit, like I said earlier in the video. We are working towards that. However, as you can see, this only has 2 channel stacks. And because it only has 2 channel stacks, these mods don't help me. I need these 4, so until I get to the point where I can get 4 channel stacks on this upgraded 3-star ring, I'm still going to be using this 2-star because of those 4 channel stacks. All right, we got our Twisted Branch here. Ideally, you're looking for a double corrupted version. You're looking for additional damage applied to life, projectile quantity, and physical skill level on your Twisted Branch. We are using Jumbled Ice instead of 2 Twisted Branches. Here we're looking for 15% corrupted additional spell damage per focus blessing. All right, and we are going to have lots of focus blessings by the time we are done our build. Crafted on it, we're looking for physical skill level, spell skill level. I'm playing around with mods at the bottom here. I'm pretty sure we're going to end up with penetration. I am trying intelligence out at the moment. We are going to come back to finish this craft probably. Play around with the mods. I think we're going to end up with penetration here over intelligence, because we have intelligence everywhere already. We don't need to activate the multiplier bucket, whereas we get more penetration, it might help us out. I don't know, I still need to test this out. Here we have our chaotic ending ring. Ideally, you're looking for a double one that says crit strike damage per focus blessing. I like having this erosion resistance while barrier is active. This allows me to ignore erosion resistance for the most part and kind of sneak by. For the most part, there are a few gaps where I have 0 erosion resistance because my barrier is down for a second or 2, and it sucks and it's awkward. But it lets you play around with your gear more, so you don't have to worry about getting erosion resistance. If you can cap out your erosion resistance without needing this mod here, ideally you're looking for 3 critical strike damage per focus blessing on this ring. Same thing here. You're looking for a max focus on the craft. I haven't gotten around to finishing this yet. But you want a max focus blessing, some energy shield, and, resistance or curse on hit or whatever various mods you can put on your ring. Here we have our Lone Walker boots. You're looking for one of the ores you're using. So it doesn't necessarily have to be weapon amplification. There are other options you can choose. You can get elemental amplification. You can also get precise projectiles. Whichever one you can find cheaper, get it. Ideally, you're looking for as close to 80% as you can. In my opinion, if something is only at 40% or lower, depending on its price, might not be worth your money. Maybe wait to find a higher rolled one. If it's cheap enough, you have lots of money, you can afford it, sure, just grab the low rolled one and it is what it is. We're gonna go to Thunder Manipulators here. The main thing we like about these is it marks shocked enemies on hit. So we're always keeping shock on, which means we're always keeping mark on. This is a free mark. I like free marks. The shock stuff is extra, a little bit of damage, not a big deal. Main thing we like here is mark. I'll be honest, I'm still messing around with this. I don't know the optimal setup. Currently, I know we do want damage penetrates on here. We do want projectile skills on here. As for the last one, well, I'm not too sure. We may just end up with some resistance. We may end up with some add physical damage to attacks. There's not a lot of good options. This is like the neck. This is probably a fill spot. Finally, we're going to end up with our chest. So you got a few options here. The main thing that's keeping people going right now is the Cicada Shell. It is great. It's pretty easy to get. It's a good starter item. I was using it the whole way through. Problem with Cicada Shell is damage goes through your energy shield. You'll end up in a scenario where you'll have 10,000 energy shield and 2,000 life or something. So your 10,000 energy shield is completely pointless. And you're running around with 2,000 life. It's manageable. There's lots of ways around this to be survivable, but it's super annoying. And I'll be honest, this little bit of damage you get here, it doesn't really make up for that annoying. On top of that, if you craft this really, really well, I need to do better here, but if I did better, it's more damage. And its current state, it is more damage. So I hear what you're looking for is a 2 active skills, own additional stacks, aura effect, minus additional damage taken, and energy shield. Originally that was a tier 1 energy shield once upon a time. The resistance at the bottom can be anything. It doesn't even need to be resistance. You can play around with it. Like I said, if you want to try and go for a double curse build, you can try and squeeze, cast an extra curse on here. But this is where I landed. The benefit you get from here is you get to go dream it. You can't dream the Cicada Shell, but you can go dream Interpretus. And the dream interpretations have some really good mods. I got a 34% aura effect, really ridiculously good. There are some other things. You can get more focus blessings. You can get generates focus blessings. So play around with the dream interpretation. I highly recommend it. Chest. So that is where we ended up. So that is our gear. We went through our talents. We went through our gear. We went through our skills. We went through our candles. We went through our memories. We went through our traits. We have officially gone through everything, I believe. Skills, candles, slates, relics, memories. That is all. Well, hopefully this guide helps you. Hopefully, I know it was a lot to digest, a lot of information. I'm going to put up another guide to go over how all the mechanics are interacting with each other. So this one was more of a build template for you guys to follow. If you're interested in understanding what really makes this hero work, I am going to work on a video to go over all the mechanics. So yes, this was kind of a rushed slap up video, but we had to get a guide up. It's 2 weeks into the season. A lot of people have been asking for it, and it's in a state where I'm happy to share it. Keep in mind, I'm still working on this. As you've seen, there's still a lot of ways to go, but we're already beating the shit out of the dummy. So that's all that matters. Hopefully this helps. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, please join me live on Twitch. It's the easiest way to get a fast reply over at Twitch TV, Mike1Up. All right, guys, have a good one. We'll catch you on the next video. Bye.